You've always been taught that all vegetables are good for your health, but this is a dangerously false belief. Groundbreaking scientific research shows that certain vegetables secretly increase blood glucose levels, cause joint inflammation, and can even increase the risk of mortality by 83%, while 99% of people over 60 are unaware of it. In this article, we'll reveal the 4 vegetables you absolutely must include in your diet and the 4 you should never consume, ranked according to their degree of health risk or benefit. The most alarming news is that the most harmful vegetable is probably already in your pantry. Research has shown that it could increase the risk of heart failure by 91%. But before continuing, please like the video, share it with people who might benefit from it, and let us know in the comments which city you follow our YouTube channel from. However, the right ones can reduce inflammation, improve memory, and even extend your life by 12 years. Before we dive into the topic, let us know in the comments where you're viewing this content from. Without further ado, let's start with the beneficial vegetables, ranked from least to most effective. In 4th place is red cabbage. This brightly colored vegetable may seem like a common vegetable, but the effects it produces on your body are extraordinary. For older people, it represents one of the most underestimated protectors against inflammatory processes. The pigment that gives it that purple hue is made up of anthocyanins. These are natural elements that function as antioxidants. They travel through the circulatory system and neutralize free radicals, tiny unstable particles that damage cells and accelerate aging. When it comes to fighting inflammation, anthocyanins demonstrate particularly powerful effects. A 2020 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who consumed higher amounts of anthocyanin-rich vegetables, like red cabbage, they had a 24% lower risk of cardiovascular disease compared to those who didn't consume it. But the benefits aren't limited to the heart. Red cabbage also promotes gut health. It's rich in fiber and natural prebiotics that nourish the beneficial bacteria in the gut. This is crucial after the age of 60 because gut health directly influences the immune system. A healthier gut means fewer infections, reduced bloating, and better absorption of nutrients from the foods you eat. Your body becomes more efficient at utilizing what you eat. At this stage of life, this makes a substantial difference. The best way to prepare red cabbage is to eat it raw or lightly cooked. When you overcook it, the anthocyanins degrade. If you want to reap all its benefits, try chopping it into salads or mixing it into coleslaw with a little extra virgin olive oil and apple cider vinegar. This combination not only tastes delicious, but also improves the absorption of its nutrients. For cooking options, sautéing it for a few minutes helps preserve its properties. Add garlic or turmeric for even greater anti-inflammatory effects. Red cabbage is cheap, easy to find, and keeps well in the refrigerator for weeks. For something so simple, it offers a huge return, especially if you're struggling with joint pain, high blood pressure, or poor digestion. It may not look flashy, but it works where it matters most, inside the body. In 3rd place, we have okra. Okra is often overlooked due to its slimy texture when cooked. But if you're over 60, this green pod might be just what your body needs. What makes okra so valuable for seniors is its effect on blood glucose levels. Okra contains soluble fibers called mucilage. This gel-like substance helps slow the rate at which sugar is absorbed in the intestines. This is important because as you age, your body becomes more resistant to insulin. And insulin is what helps cells extract sugar from the bloodstream. When this system begins to fail, sugar builds up in the blood, damaging blood vessels and increasing the risk of heart attacks, strokes, and kidney failure. But okra changes that. A 2021 study published in the journal Food Science and Nutrition found that people who ate okra daily for 8 weeks saw their fasting blood sugar levels drop by more than 20%. This is the kind of improvement you'd normally expect from prescription drugs without the side effects. Okra also contains antioxidants like quercetin and flavonoids, which reduce oxidative stress on the brain. This is especially helpful for older adults struggling with brain fog, poor memory, or early cognitive decline. Additionally, okra is rich in vitamin K, which helps with blood clotting and bone health. Older adults who are prone to falls or fractures benefit directly from this nutrient. Okra is also high in folate, which helps with red blood cell formation and overall energy levels. This is another key factor in aging well. To get the most out of okra, it's best to cook it quickly and with minimal oil. Lightly steaming it or adding it to soups and stews helps reduce the sliminess while preserving all the beneficial nutrients. If you want to further reduce stickiness, soak it in vinegar for 30 minutes before cooking. Roasted okra also works well. Simply slice it, drizzle with olive oil and a pinch of salt, and roast it on high until crispy. You get fiber, antioxidants, and blood sugar benefits all at once. Okra may not be your favorite vegetable at first, but once you understand how it supports blood sugar, heart health, and mental clarity, it's worth finding a way to enjoy it. This is a vegetable that works over time to keep your aging body balanced, stable, and strong. In second place is beets. Beetroot isn't just a colorful root vegetable. It's one of nature's most powerful tools for opening your blood vessels. And after age 60, this matters more than ever. With age, the inner walls of our arteries stiffen. This makes it harder for blood to flow, raising blood pressure and straining the heart. But beets contain high levels of natural nitrates. These compounds are converted in your body into nitric oxide, which acts as a muscle relaxant for your blood vessels. It helps dilate them, improves blood flow, and reduces overall stress on the heart. A 2019 clinical study by Hypertension Research found that drinking beetroot juice daily for just 4 weeks. It lowered systolic blood pressure by an average of 11 points in older adults. Better circulation also means better brain health. Your brain needs constant blood flow to stay sharp, focused, and responsive, and beets provide it. In a 2017 study published in the Journals of Gerontology, older adults who consumed beets before exercise had increased blood flow to the frontal lobe, the part of the brain responsible for memory and decision-making. This means that beets not only protect your heart, but also help maintain your mind. Beets are also rich in betalains, a group of antioxidants that fight inflammation at the cellular level. This is especially helpful if you're dealing with joint pain, arthritis, or any type of chronic discomfort. They also contain folate and manganese, two nutrients that support red blood cell production and energy metabolism. This is crucial when energy slumps become more common after age 60. To get the most out of beets, try roasting them in the oven until tender. This brings out their natural sweetness and preserves their nutrients. You can also blend them into smoothies with a little apple and ginger for a refreshing and health-boosting drink. Beetroot juice also works, but make sure it's 100% pure with no added sugar. If you're short on time, pre-cooked vacuum-packed beets are a great option. Just slice and eat. First up is kale. Kale is more than just a trendy superfood. It's the #1 vegetable seniors should eat daily. What makes kale so powerful is the number of systems it supports simultaneously. First and foremost, it's rich in lutein and zeaxanthin. These are carotenoids, natural pigments that specifically protect your eyes and brain. After age 60, your risk of macular degeneration and cognitive decline increases dramatically. But kale can help slow both. A 2020 study published in Neurology found that older adults who consumed high levels of lutein and zeaxanthin experienced cognitive decline 32% slower than those who ate less. This means a sharper memory, better concentration, and greater independence as you age. Kale also provides an incredible boost to your heart. It's rich in potassium, which balances sodium in your diet and helps lower blood pressure. It also contains magnesium, a mineral that many older adults don't get enough of, which helps regulate the heartbeat and reduces the risk of irregular heartbeats. And with its high vitamin K content, kale supports strong bones and prevents arterial calcification, where calcium builds up inside blood vessels and increases the risk of heart attack. Just 1 cup of kale provides over 600% of your daily vitamin K requirement. Additionally, kale is packed with anti-inflammatory compounds like camphorol and glucosinolates. These penetrate deep into your cells and block chronic inflammation, the leading cause of heart disease, diabetes, and joint pain. A 2018 study in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience linked regular kale consumption to improved neuronal activity in aging brains, especially in areas related to memory and sensory processing. To get the most out of kale, avoid eating it raw in large quantities. Raw kale contains compounds that can interfere with thyroid function, especially if you already have thyroid problems. Light cooking solves this problem. Sautéing it in olive oil with garlic for just 3 to 5 minutes preserves its nutrients while eliminating the risk. You can also steam it or blend it into soups for a smooth texture. For a snack option, try homemade kale chips. Simply tear off the leaves, lightly coat with olive oil, sprinkle with sea salt, and cook on low heat until crispy. Kale is inexpensive, easy to find, and keeps well in the refrigerator. And unlike many supplements or powders, your body knows exactly how to absorb it. When it comes to keeping your brain sharp, your heart strong, and your body resilient, kale is the most important vegetable you can eat. If there's only one food you change this week, let it be this. Now that you know the 4 vegetables that can heal your heart, protect your brain, and keep your body strong past 60, it's time for the other side of the truth. These next 4 vegetables may seem harmless, but they're silently wreaking havoc on your blood sugar, inflaming your joints, and damaging your organs every time you eat them. Let's delve into the 4 vegetables you should never touch, ranked from least to most dangerous. In 4th place is corn. Corn might seem harmless, especially since it appears in everything from summer barbecues to canned soups, but once you're over 60, corn becomes more of a hidden threat than most people realize. It's not because of its flavor or fiber, it's because of what it does to your blood sugar. Corn is a high glycemic index vegetable, meaning it quickly raises your blood sugar, faster than some sugary cereals. And when blood sugar rises, insulin floods your system. Over time, your cells become resistant. This is how older adults silently slide into prediabetes or full-blown type 2 diabetes without knowing it. In a 2020 study published in Diabetes Care, older adults who regularly consumed high glycemic index vegetables like corn had a 46% increased risk of insulin resistance and cardiovascular disease. And unlike the complex carbohydrates found in lentils or whole grains, corn doesn't give you long-lasting energy. It gives you a short burst followed by a crash. That roller coaster effect stresses your heart and throws off your body's hormonal balance. If you still enjoy corn occasionally, portion control is key, but it shouldn't be a staple on your plate. Replace it with low glycemic vegetables like cauliflower or zucchini. Support stable energy and better blood sugar levels, and avoid creamed corn, canned corn with added sugar, and anything labeled as sweet corn, which has been selectively bred to contain even more sugar. Corn isn't poison, but for older adults, it's a silent disruptor. It's easy to overlook because it's so common, but over time, its effects accumulate, leading to unstable blood sugar, weight gain, and increased cardiac stress. If you're eating them often, now's the time to scale back and make a smarter swap. In 3rd place are potatoes. Potatoes are often seen as a comfort food, but for older adults, they can become a hidden health trap. They're starchy, heavy, and extremely high on the glycemic index, meaning they cause a rapid rise in blood sugar after eating. That rise leads to an insulin spike followed by a crash. Over time, this roller coaster effect weakens insulin sensitivity, exhausts the pancreas, and encourages fat accumulation around the organs. A 2017 BMI study followed over 70,000 adults and found that those who ate potatoes 4 or more times a week had a 33% higher risk of developing high blood pressure, a major red flag after age 60. Potatoes are also low in the protective compounds found in more colorful vegetables. They don't offer much fiber unless you eat the skin, and most people don't. Furthermore, they're often cooked in the worst possible ways: fried, mashed with butter, or doused in salt, which turns a tasteless starch into a real cardiovascular hazard. French fries have been linked to arterial inflammation due to the formation of acrylamides, a toxic compound released during high-temperature cooking. When you add salt or cheese, sodium levels skyrocket, putting even more pressure on aging kidneys and blood vessels. Even when boiled, potatoes release glucose rapidly, causing spikes that can be harmful if you're already experiencing weight gain, fatigue, or metabolic slowdowns. Older adults who eat potatoes frequently often notice they feel more tired after meals. This is because the high carbohydrate load strains the body's energy system. And when this happens daily, it leads to insulin resistance, nerve damage, and eventually type 2 diabetes or heart disease. If you love potatoes, you don't have to give them up completely, but they should be a treat, not a habit. Switch to sweet potatoes occasionally, which are lower on the glycemic index and contain more fiber and antioxidants. Roast them with olive oil and cinnamon instead of frying or mashing them with butter. But regular white potatoes, especially when fried or processed, shouldn't be a go-to side dish for anyone over 60. They're cheap, filling, and familiar, but they also fuel the conditions that older adults need to avoid most: blood sugar instability, high blood pressure, and inflammation. After 60, every bite counts, and with potatoes, the risks outweigh the comfort. But before we continue, if you enjoyed the video so far, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any more videos like this. In second place is eggplant. Eggplant is often praised for being low in calories. But for older adults, this purple vegetable carries hidden risks that can silently wreak havoc on the body. The main problem lies in a group of natural compounds called alkaloids. These substances are part of the plant's natural defense system. But in sensitive individuals, especially older adults, they can trigger inflammation in joints, muscles, and even the digestive system. A 2021 study in Frontiers in Pharmacology found that alkaloids like solanine and nasoonine in eggplant can increase oxidative stress and interfere with nerve signaling when consumed in large or frequent quantities. This means it's especially important for older adults dealing with arthritis, muscle stiffness, or nerve pain. Eggplant can worsen symptoms, not improve them. Many older adults report increased joint pain or fatigue after eating eggplant-containing dishes, especially if grilled or fried. Worse still, eggplant tends to absorb a lot of oil during cooking, and the combination of oil, heat, and alkaloids creates a pro-inflammatory environment within the body. This inflammation spreads silently, affecting circulation and even increasing blood pressure over time. Eggplant also contains oxalates, which are compounds that can contribute to the formation of kidney stones. After age 60, kidney function naturally slows. When oxalates accumulate, they can form calcium oxalate stones, which are painful and dangerous. A 2019 study in the Annals of Neurology found that high intakes of oxalate-rich vegetables significantly increased the risk of kidney stones in older adults with impaired kidney function. Eggplant's texture also makes it difficult for some older adults to digest, especially if undercooked or served with the skin. This can lead to bloating, gas, or intestinal irritation, especially for those with sensitive stomachs or a history of acid reflux. If you eat eggplant, it should be cooked thoroughly and prepared in small portions. Removing the skin and pre-soaking the slices in salted water can reduce the bitterness and remove some of the problematic compounds. But even with proper preparation, eggplant remains a high-risk vegetable for older adults with inflammatory conditions, kidney problems, or digestive issues. There are much better options that offer antioxidants without the baggage. It might look beautiful on a plate, but after age 60, eggplant is one of those vegetables that could silently do more harm than good. First up is canned tomatoes. Tomatoes themselves aren't the problem. In fact, fresh tomatoes can be very beneficial. The real danger for seniors is canned tomatoes. They seem convenient, cheap, and perfect for soups, sauces, and stews. But what most people over 60 don't realize is that canned tomatoes are a toxic combination of acidic food and chemically coated metal, posing a serious threat to your heart, hormones, and even your brain. Here's how it works. The inside of most cans is coated with a chemical called BPA, or bisphenol A. It's used to prevent the metal from rusting and to extend shelf life. But BPA is a known endocrine disruptor, meaning it interferes with your body's hormones, especially estrogen and testosterone. As you age, your hormone levels are already declining, and exposure to BPA disrupts that balance even further, increasing the risk of weight gain, fatigue, mood swings, and even cardiac arrhythmias. A 2020 study in environmental research found that adults with the highest blood levels of BPA had a 91% higher risk of heart disease than those with the lowest levels. Tomatoes exacerbate this because they are acidic. That acid breaks down the BPA coating in the can, causing it to leach directly into the tomatoes. So, every time you eat canned tomatoes, you're not just getting lycopene or vitamin C. You're getting a dose of a chemical that has been linked to cancer, heart failure, and hormone imbalance. Older adults are especially at risk because their livers become less efficient at processing toxins as they age. This means BPA builds up faster, causing more damage in less time. Canned tomatoes are also typically loaded with salt. A cup of canned tomato sauce can contain over 500 milligrams of sodium. This is almost a quarter of your recommended daily allowance, and it adds up quickly when you use tomato-based products in pastas, stews, and casseroles. High sodium intake raises blood pressure, stiffens arteries, and puts strain on the kidneys. If you already have high blood pressure or take heart medications, this type of sodium load can be extremely dangerous. The solution is simple but crucial. Switch to jarred tomato sauce or make your own from fresh tomatoes. If you must use canned tomatoes, choose brands clearly labeled as BPA-free, although these may still pose risks. And always rinse tomatoes before use to reduce sodium. Roasting fresh tomatoes with garlic and olive oil can give you all the flavor without any of the toxins. Get lycopene, heart protection, and no hormonal chaos. Canned tomatoes may seem harmless, but for seniors, they're a slow-acting chemical trap that can sabotage your hormones, raise blood pressure, and accelerate aging from within. It's one of the most common mistakes in senior diets and the easiest to correct today. After age 60, every bite you take either builds you up or tears you down. And now you know the truth. Not all vegetables are safe. Some will fuel your heart, brain, and energy. Others can silently raise blood sugar, raise blood pressure, and accelerate the aging process without you noticing until it's too late. The good ones protect you. They fight inflammation. They boost memory and balance hormones naturally. The bad ones pretend to be healthy, but they silently erode your strength, your gut, and even your kidneys. But now you're armed with the truth, and you can take back control. So tell us in the comments which vegetable shocked you the most today. And if you want more science-based nutrition tips to stay strong, sharp, and independent well into your 70s and beyond, hit that subscribe button now. Your body deserves better than guessing. Let's get this right together. If you have any questions or want to share your experiences, feel free to leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.